Hi guys, very good evening. Welcome back for another session with Leverage TV. I'm Priyank Jain, Vice President Leverage Edu. Leverage Edu is India's largest university admission services. So today I'm going to talk about best students cities for abroad education. Uh, what we've been trying to do over the last couple of weeks is to kind of take you through uh, various topics and various topics which will help you kind of make better decisions when you are figuring out a decision to study abroad. And this again is one of the most talking points and one of the most important topics when it comes to deciding where do you want to study. So before even you get to shortlist or make a list of your dream universities or the university that you'd like to go to, the first thing that you do is probably make a list of the countries, or for that matter, going one step ahead and making a list of those cities. So it's really important for you to understand how should you be making the decision when you are thinking about planning your education abroad. City where your university is situated in usually plays a huge role because a large when you are going to spend 1 or 2 years of your adult life in a particular university, a large part of time will also go into you'll end up spending in that particular city. And so it makes a lot of difference that before you even get down to making a right choice for university, you are very confident on which particular cities or countries do you want to study into. So how do you make the decision? So probably you'd look at five broad things, and that is what I'm going to talk about today. So first thing definitely that you look at is university rankings. So how many top universities are there in that particular city for you where you'd want to go and study. So usually two of the highly claimed rankings which students and universities and employers both consider are QS rankings and FT rankings. QS rankings mostly for core courses like engineering, computer science, or more technical education. FT rankings are widely used for MBA courses or MBA schools. So one thing that definitely look at is the city that I want to kind of study in. Houses, how many top universities, which probably are in top 100 or top 100, top 200 of QS rankings or FT rankings. That will be one thing that I definitely would like to look at. Second thing that I'd look at is the kind of student mix this city has. Now, it's a really important thing to consider when you are making a choice for your universities and cities that you want to study. So, why this is important? Because cities that have high proportion of students are usually better equipped to manage the student needs, or equipped with facilities around student needs, be it affordable accommodation, affordable transportation, uh, things like having things which are open 24/7. So these are the things that really matter when you are going out and making a choice for higher education. So things that you should definitely look at is that what are the kind of student population in particular city? What is the percentage of student population in a particular city? And and on top of that, I'd also look at the population of international students in that city. So how cosmopolitan that city is. So how tolerant or how cosmopolitan that city is in a sense of being culturally cohesive and probably able to kind of understand the needs and requirements from student for students from every ethnicity or every nationality. So this is for me again one of the biggest reasons how I'd like to kind of go about making decision. Third important thing I look at is livability in terms of safety of that city, livability in terms of physical and social infrastructure, livability in terms of pollution, and all those things. So how livable a city is. So if you are going to spend 1 or 2 years of your adult life and possibly look at kind of spending another another couple of years working there, uh, you have to understand and make sure that city as hell is livable, and it makes your entire experience very delightful. This brings me to the fourth important point, uh, which is employer activity. So I'm sure that all of you who are thinking about studying abroad or taking up a higher education abroad do want to an extent, would want to kind of work for a couple of years in that particular city or in that particular country for exposure, for better networking, and for better general or job opportunities in your career, to probably enhance your career. I'm sure this would be one of the biggest reasons why you are considering taking up an education abroad. So one thing I'd definitely like to look at is how is the employer activity in a particular city. So this thing can be gauged by looking at two key matrices. One matrix is uh, cities which are most sought after as recruiting grounds among the employers. So probably where most of the head offices are housed or situated, probably where most of the customer base of a particular sector is. So that is where employers are or companies, good companies, are most likely to be in. Second thing, again, very closely related, second matrix, it will be scope and ease of finding a job after doing your or completing a degree education. So how likely and how quickly can you get a job in a city of your choice? And that will again determine whether you are probably, let's say, choosing a London over someone like Edinburgh, choosing London over places like York, or if I talk about Canada, choosing places like Toronto or Vancouver. So these are the little things that makes your decision a little easier, and really give you enough food for thought to how should you think about your higher education plans. Fifth thing, and probably the last on my list that I'd look at, is affordability. This is again one of the most important factors when it comes to taking a decision in studying abroad, because this affordability as a factor also is directly correlated to the amount of money that I have to spend in my education abroad. So when you are talking about the budget or how much investment that you want to you have to make for your higher education, one part of it is tuition fees, and another part of it is your cost of living. So how affordable a particular city is. So more affordable the city is for you to live in, easier for you it is to be easier for you it is in terms of your cost of living and the budget requirements. Let's say if you are picking up a city which is a little lighter on the pocket in terms of cost of living, you can spend let's say 10, 15, 20% extra in picking out a university which is a little higher on tuition fees. So this gives you a little flexibility in terms of how you want to plan your finances. So affordability in terms of, again, cost of living, accommodation, basic needs, transportation, cost of going around from one place to another, or as simple things as like a Big Mac index, how expensive or cheap it is to kind of eat outside, or the grocery cost. So that is another thing. That is another important thing I'd like to look at when I'm trying to understand or take a decision on the cities I want to select for my higher education. To recap all the 5 points, what I look at uh, is university rankings, student mix, livability, employer activity, and affordability. So these are the top five things that I'd look at. Now, which are the best cities for abroad, for your higher education abroad, taking into account all these five things. So there are you. So what I did was, on the basis of the knowledge that we have at Leverage Edu, on the basis of all the assessments that we do every day with Leverage Edu, and the kind of data that is available, we try to kind of find what are the top most cities that rank very higher on all these five parameters. So the first and the best, or should I start from the least? Okay, so I'll talk about top five cities that come up in this index, which rank high on these five parameters that we assess them on. So on number five, we think Edinburgh is a beautiful city to kind of do your higher education in, and it houses one of the most sought after University of Edinburgh. It's usually known for their MBA program, their MSc Finance program, and some of the programs in their computer engineering as well. So Edinburgh would be the number five city that I'd look at, or I'd recommend for you to kind of consider for your higher education. On number four, I think Boston would be the one that will be my number four, and it houses universities like Harvard, MIT, Boston. So I'll also talk about where they score, or where probably they could have been a little better. So Boston as a city could be a little better in terms of affordability. It scores highly on employer activity. It scores highly on student mix. It could score a little more on university ranking as well. So barring, let's say, top 2 or 3 universities like Harvard, MIT, or Boston, there are not enough universities which would be high or in top 200 or top 100 of US rankings or FT rank. Third city is a city in Canada, which is Toronto. So again, Toronto scores very highly on affordability, scores very highly on livability, student mix, employer activity could be a little better. It also scores fairly well on the university rankings bit. So the universities, so some of the top universities which are in Toronto are like University of Toronto, York University, Humber College. And these are the universities, again, which are famous for their programs in business administration, software engineering, core engineering, the nursing programs. So these are some of the programs that these universities are famous for. On number two, I'd think it would be Montreal. Again, a city in Canada, famous for universities like McGill University, HEC Montreal. So again, like Toronto, it scores very highly on affordability, livability, and student mix. It could be a little better in terms of employer activity, but most of the student activity is situated around these 2 or 3 city areas, or these 2 or 3 provinces in Canada. Number one on my list would be London. So London scores very highly on all but one parameter, which I talked about earlier in this conversation. So it is as cosmopolitan as it can get. It has a tremendous mix of students because it houses so many good universities. Again, it has so many good universities which are in top 100 or top 200 of US rankings or FT rankings. Universities like LBS, UCL, KCL, QMUL are some of the good names that are there in London. London also has, so good thing about London, or good thing about UK as a country to kind of for your preferred choice for education is that no city is very far from each other. So if I talk about, let's say, some of the good universities like Bristol, it's not a very far from London. Or if I talk about University of Birmingham or Leeds or Liverpool, so none of these universities would be very far from London. So where London doesn't score on affordability, you can still be in and around London in one of these universities or one of these cities, and can take an advantage of their employer activity. So one of the reasons that students sometimes do not pick London over any other place is it being a little expensive in terms of cost of living or accommodation, or essentially the entire basic needs that got around. But on all the other things, be it livability in terms of safety, pollution, social and physical infrastructure, everything. So let us score very highly on all these parameters. So these are the top 5 universities that I think would be on my list, how I'd be making the decision. And these are the top 5 parameters or decision points, factors that I'd look at while making decision. So I hope this makes so this in no way obviously recommends or suggests you any particular university or any particular city. It totally depends on, again, your career aspirations, your profile, what you are looking from your degree or higher education abroad, and again, how this kind of all this adds up in the kind of mix of course and university that you want to do for your higher education. So the idea is to make to enable you to make this choice in a better way, in a more structured way, in a more data oriented way than just going by hearsay. So now you know, when you are assessing the university or the city that you should study, or you should consider your study program in, city is one of the most important aspect of it. And these are the 5 things that you can look at while assessing a city for your higher education. So this is it from my side today. Hope this helps in making your decision a little easier. And we at Leverage Edu are anywhere there to help for any other needs that you may find in making your decision a little more easier in selecting your university. So this is it from my end today. Have a very good evening. Goodbye.